Let's get excited. Let's get excited in here. It's the last video. The last video of the year.
Well, now it's the first video of the year because I didn't get this up on New Year's Eve the way I had hoped. Anyway.
Hey all y'all, welcome to my channel. My name is Carrie. This is where I talk about making things and crafting and a lot of knitting. It's a lot of knitting, but it's not always knitting, but it's a lot of knitting. Oh, it has been a year, hasn't it? It has been a long year, but today we're gonna have a little fun and I'm gonna share with you my best and worst of 2021. My things that I tried or I made that I loved and the things that maybe I didn't love quite so much. I'm gonna give you all my honest feelings about it. So hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, give this video a thumbs up, and find out my best and worst of 2021. Before we jump into all the fun, I just want to remind you that as always, down in the description box, you will find timestamps to various parts of the video if you'd like to jump around. Also down in the description box, you will find a list of materials, resources, and other links I think that might be useful for you. And some of these links will be clearly marked affiliate links. If you click on one, it'll take you to a shopping website. If you make a purchase, I might then earn a small commission, which helps support my channel. I love bringing these videos to you. I really, really do love it. But it does take time, resources, and coffee, fun, it just does. So if you utilize one of my affiliate links, thank you so much. It's so greatly appreciated. And if you don't, that's totally cool. Just glad that you're here enjoying a video today. This is really going to be a retrospective mostly of things that I've made this year, but I'm going to also throw in some things that I tried out, some products that I tried out in 2021. Some worked great, some not so much. But I will say, in terms of the projects, I'm just going to be honest, 2021 was kind of a real winner year for me. I feel like almost everything I spent time making this year, I was really happy with. Now, whether I have fully finished them, that's on me. It's not a sign of the project. That's just me and my own like thing about weaving in ends. But yeah, mostly I think this video is going to be a pretty positive one. So we're going to just go from least to best, amazingest, awesomest today. And that's how we're going to do the countdown. Okay, the worst thing in 2021 is actually something personal, which is my house flooded. I have a whole live stream about it, but oh God, was it October? End of September, October. I woke up one morning and my house had flooded and my house has been in a disarray ever since. You'll notice that this all back here looks much more bare now. Like, I don't have my bookcase. Remember those early videos where I had a bookcase here and stuff? Yeah, that's not here right now because my house flooded and, like, you can't see it. Over there, that's where my exterior wall of my craft room is. There's like 2 feet of drywall missing from the bottom of the wall because it got wet. And anyway, it's been quite a project. We are in the midst of planning our rehab. We're bidding out contractors right now. Hopefully at the beginning of the year, we will actually start fixing things. So I have a whole usable house again. But yeah, it's been a trying time. And I spent a lot of time just ignoring chaos and mess because like, it's just what is going on in my life right now. So the flood was a really horrible, awful thing that happened in 2021. But I'm like super grateful to sort of all the love and support that I've gotten through this time. Like you've all been amazing and really like have stuck with my channel, even though like I think like the month of October, I wasn't able to upload anything. But, you know, we've been getting through, and in the grand scheme of things, my family's healthy. I'm healthy despite this recent cold, but in the grand scheme of things, we're doing okay. Doing okay. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens once we actually start fixing the house, and remodeling is really underway. Oh, I can't wait. This was not a difficult thing to think of or decide on. It was really freaking obvious, and that was this. This is the Knitter's Pride Mindful Cable. This is an interchangeable cable from what they call their Mindful collection. And I was very excited to try out this cable. This package came with the cable and these two end caps. The end caps are really pretty, and I would show them to you live, but I can't find them right now because flood. The standard cable that comes with most of their sets, their usual sets, are a plastic cable. This cable, however, is a steel cable and a plastic casing. It is similar to the Chiagu cable, which is a steel cable and a nylon casing. I was really excited to try this cable out because the Chiagu cable, I mean, it is a great, great cable, and I think it is the thing that sets Chiagu apart from other interchangeable needle sets and other circular needles, but they are on the pricier side, and I was like, why hasn't somebody come up with a, similar cable to the Chiagu at a lower price point? I was like, maybe Knitter's Pride has finally done it, right? No, they haven't done it at all. Like the Chiagu, it is memory free. Like, you can bend it and twist it, and it's still gonna hold its shape and not kink up, but it's not as flexible as the Chiagu. But the thing that made this the worst product that I tried this year was I started working a project with this needle, and it broke in a couple of different ways. Not just one way. No, it broke in two ways. First, there's this end. That looks fine, Carrie. Doesn't look broken. Watch. That's right, popped off. This did happen partially because of my daughter. My daughter got a hold of the needle, and I was trying to have her give it back to me, and she started tugging on the end of it, and it popped off. So this coming off might be just as much kind of user error, 4-year-old user who should have been using it error, but it's still, I haven't had any needle where that just comes off like that. But I would have probably overlooked that and said, okay, it's a meh product, it's not for me. Maybe it's like a number 6, a number 7 on the list of things this year. Oh, but no, it got worse. It got way worse. There's this end. You'll notice that there's no connector there. What happened? What happened was, I can demonstrate here. As I was working my project, the cable kept bending more and more like this, right? So it was becoming more and more an L. And I think what happened was, if you can actually see it as I take this off, there's this plastic here. I think what happened was, as that was bending, that plastic got worn through. I think the steel started rubbing against the edge of the cap, and eventually it just cut through the cable altogether. Yeah, this is just disappointing. 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 So number 8 isn't so much a terrible thing as much as a personal project fail thing. And that was my decision to make a temperature blanket. And here is how far I got with that. Here is my temperature blanket. If you're like, Carrie, that doesn't look like an entire year worth of temperatures, you're right. Not only did I not finish this, I will not be finishing this. What I decided to do for my temperature blanket was to do this Tunisian crochet project where each square was a day, and it was kind of being built out in a diagonal fashion. So it started here in this corner, and then each day went along in a diagonal direction, thusly. And I actually liked how everything was developing. It was kind of fun seeing how the colors were gonna kind of just develop in their own unexpected way. This project failed mostly just because of me. I lost steam on it around the beginning of March, and I realized around July that I had fallen really behind on this. And by August, just realized I was never gonna finish this. Like, this is just me doing a temperature blanket. It's just not gonna happen. It's not my kind of project. Like, I can have a project that I work on kind of off and on for years, but just the daily grind of having to record a temperature every day and feel like I'm falling behind, it was just, I didn't like the feeling of it. I just didn't like the feeling of it. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with the yarn. I think I might, I just haven't decided. I would love any ideas. If you have any ideas of what I can do with this, please let me know down in the comments below, because I'm a bit of a loss. I don't know if I would just want to frog all of this and make a bunch of granny squares, which is what I'm kind of tooling around right now. Never done it before. There's not gonna be any pressure of like keeping track of temperatures or anything like that. And yeah, but I don't know for sure. I haven't decided. If you have an idea of what I could do, I am all ears. I'd love to know, because I feel like I want to transform this into something. Second worst thing that I tried in 2021, without a doubt, has to be the Spin Right Ogo. I tried out the Karen Ogo. This is the project that I worked when I was testing it out. I have a full first impression of utilizing this yarn, and let me just say up front, I really like the project. I really like the project. I would totally work this project again. But I would not use this yarn again. The Ogo is not actually a type of yarn. It's a type of yarn put up. A put up is just how the yarn is packaged when you buy it. It can be a hank, it can be a ball, it can be a cake. The people at Spin Right got this brilliant idea of making this like wormy thing called the Ogo. And right now, last I checked, it comes with 3 yarns. You can get it with the Red Heart Super Saver, like putting Red Heart Super Saver in a fancy packaging format is going to make that yarn any better. This Karen's yarn, which is a bulky weight yarn, and then Bernat Blanket, which is a polyester yarn. And supposedly, allegedly, and in my test was true, the Ogo format prevents the yarn from getting tangled up. For me and how I like to knit, I didn't find it particularly practical. This yarn itself with the Karen, there were definitely issues with it. Like there was color bleed all over the yarn, and to make this hat, you had to cut off the different color sections of the Ogo, which is kind of like, basically it was mini skeins at that point. And then why am I doing this at all? It just, to me, it was just a lot of gimmicky. McGimmicky. Number 6 on my list. Number 6 on my list. Number 6 on my list. Number 6 on my list is another knitting needle, which is this one, the Prim Ergonomic Circular Needle. Oh, I wanted this. You know, there was so much about this needle that I liked. In fact, there was so much about the needle that I liked that I have gone out and gotten the DPNs to give those a whirl. I liked how light they are. I liked the shape of them. The stitches move across this plastic much better than I expected. The cable, remember earlier about, oh, a cable that's like a Chiagu cable? This cable is like the Chiagu cable. It's flexible. It's memory free. It is a steel cable in a nylon coating. But the join is so, for me, was so bad. I just can't with this overall. But I've heard from people who really like it, and there's a lot about this needle that I do like. I just wish the join was better. And really, from this point forward, everything I'm going to be pretty positive on. Now, like, all of these are good to great. And yeah, it's just going to be fun time right now. It's just going to be fun. Fun time. I'm going to actually show you 2 projects. They're linked together in the sense that they're both projects that I improvised and I really enjoyed doing. One is this hat. I made this hat because I was gonna do a video. I did a video on in the round technique called traveling loop, and I ended up just loving this hat so much. And the way that I made this hat was, this is what I call a gaugeless project, meaning that I don't have to do any kind of gauge really to do this project. What I did is I started off with a flat strip of garter stitch knitting that I joined in the round with a graft. I think I used the Finchley graft for this. Then I picked up all my stitches around the edge and I started knitting the hat itself. I really like Latvian braid, so I put a Latvian braid into it. And then for the stripes, I used Fibonacci numbers to create different widths of stripes that would still look really aesthetically pleasing. And it was just kind of one of those projects that I improvised as I was going along, that was a lot of fun, that wasn't a lot of thinking. And this is the type of project where you don't need a pattern necessarily. If you know some basic techniques, you don't need a pattern to do this kind of project. And something I'm thinking about wanting to do in 2022 are videos for kind of what I think of as patternless projects. If you would be interested in this type of thing, whether it be a hat or triangle shawl, I have a couple different ideas of projects that I could show you that I think of as being patternless. Let me know down in the comments below.
Up next
is a really good project. I enjoyed making it thoroughly. This is one that I designed myself kind of on the fly, and it is these socks. And really, they could be higher up on the list. They're not higher on the list for no other reason that there are things that I made this year that I just liked even more. This project kind of actually happened because I was testing out a certain type of needle, which I will be discussing very shortly. But yeah, I knitted this from the cuff down. I used a flap and gusset heel, and I put in this panel of German twisted cables. German twist cables are so much fun because it is cabling, but it usually only involves cabling 1, 2, or 4 stitches at a time. So it's very easy to do this cabling technique without any kind of cable needle. I did use a different type of graft, which was like kind of my new favorite technique that I learned in 2021, which is the Finchley graft. The Finchley graft gives you the exact same result as the Kitchener stitch, but it's way easier to do. I actually featured it in a couple of videos this year. But yeah, so these were the socks that I made. This is the only sock project that I did this year. But yeah, it was really fun to just kind of start a sock and make it up as I go along, which I haven't done in a while, and I really enjoyed this. So number 4 is the last set of needles on my list. I tried a lot of different needle things this year in 2021, and these are the Chiagu Twist X Cable Shorties. These are actually interchangeable needles. You get 2 different needle lengths and 2 different cable lengths, and with that, you're able to make 3 different lengths of shorty needles. I really enjoyed utilizing these needles way more than I expected to. To utilize these, I did have to switch from my usual pencil grip to an overhand grip, more like a knife grip, but that was fine, and actually it was a nice change of pace and something that moving forward with my knitting, even though I still love utilizing my pencil grip when I knit to do my kind of lever knitting with circular needles, I do think that I'm going to mix in projects where I utilize an overhand grip just so I can kind of mix up how I knit to help with just ergonomics and avoiding repetitive stress motions. I could totally see myself, for the right type of project, picking these up again. The cables were really flexible, the needle tips were excellent. Like, these are Chiagu, there's nothing to complain here. It's just really if you like 9-inch circulars or not. I thought 9-inch circulars were fine. It's not my preferred knitting in the round technique, but for the right project, I could see myself turning to these again. But I do think they're somewhat of limited use. Like, I tried utilizing, not this set, But I did try to utilize a 9-inch circular for those socks that I just showed, and trying to utilize 9-inch circulars with that cabling pattern was like, no bueno. But if I wanted to knit a sock that was a lot of just 2x2 ribbing or stockinette, I would totally consider utilizing a 9-inch circular for those situations. This was the year of fingerless gloves for me. I'm working a fingerless glove right now as part of Fast Enough Yarn Along 2021. And I've always loved working fingerless knits. I've always loved working fingerless mitts, whether they have a gusset or they don't have a gusset, and I find them very practical for myself living here in Southern California, where layers are really the key. I mean, yes, most of the year, we have really nice warm weather, but in the before times when I worked in offices, I never knew if an office I was going to be in was going to be cold or warm, and going into an edit bay, because I work in reality television in post. If I go into an edit bay, I never knew if it was going to be like the Arctic tundra or the Sahara Desert. So layers have always been very key for me, and working at computers a lot, it's just always nice to have fingerless gloves where I can work at the computer and still keep my hands and my wrists warm. But my favorite fingerless glove project for 2021 is this one. This is by Liz Cork. The name of the pattern I'm going to put up here on screen. It's Gaelic, and I don't know how to pronounce it, but it means lavender.
And I'm going to just put this glove on so you can really see the motif in it.
It has this lovely faux cable pattern that runs up the body of the glove. This is all created with increases and decreases. I just loved working this project. It's just lovely. They're so, maybe I'll just put it above there we go. And yeah, I just love it. And I love when I have these on while I'm working, because it makes it very easy to work on the computer. And at the same time, I can just kind of look down and admire the pretty knitting. So yeah, this definitely was one of my favorite projects that I worked in 2021. This was my favorite fingerless project that I worked in 2021. And yeah, just beautiful. Love this. So I am a knitter, but I'm not just a knitter. I really consider myself a maker. I love making things. My primary medium is fiber. So yes, I crochet, I Tunisian crochet, and anything that involves pretty string, I usually want to give a go at. This year, my favorite new to me craft was tablet weaving. I did a video where I tried tablet weaving for the first time on camera. I will link it up here and down in the description box if you'd like to watch what that adventure looked like. But I have done more tablet weaving since then, and I've gotten better at it, I hope. And so this here, let's see, I think this was my first tablet weaving here. You know, it's a first attempt. The edges aren't even. There's some places where I didn't pull the weft all the way through, and I got these loose little bits here, and I really didn't know how to finish it. But for first try, once I got all my warps straightened out, and oh my god, was that an adventure. It was very nice and soothing. I started trying out tablet weaving again in September, right around the time that the flood happened. It turns out this was a really portable craft and really great to have at the hotel when we were living there at the hotel. And I made 2 more bands. And I definitely got better. Like, here you can see that I'm still not quite even with my selvages. I'm still working on getting that better. But I think this was the 3rd band I made, and I kept things really much more consistent here on this 3rd band. But yeah, I really enjoyed tablet weaving. Once I figured out how I could get the warps organized and everything set up in a way that wasn't a tangly, dangly mess like the first time I tried this, it was really like, very relaxing, and the actual weaving process itself, once everything is set up, is very relaxing, and it's very easy to do, you know, in the evening in front of the TV and everything. So I really enjoyed this, and I really want to do more of this. My goal for 2022 with this tablet weaving is to utilize this technique to make some bag handles for a knitted bag that I've had for a long time that I want to finish off. This year was kind of the year of fingerless mitts for me. I have a feeling that the last two projects that I finished this year in 2021 is going to set me up for next year being the year of shawl knitting, because I just enjoyed knitting this shawl and wrap so much, and I think these are my favorite projects for this year that I have completed. And like completed. Like I wove in the ends and I blocked them and I did all of the things. Okay, so let's look at them. First, and this is in no particular order, this pattern was called the Aurelia Shawlet by Not Bad Brit. This is a Tunisian crochet project. This is something else I want to do more of in the coming year, which is more Tunisian crochet. I wore this actually in my last live stream. I'll put it on right now. You can kind of see it a little bit better, hopefully. I'll back up a little bit. But yeah, I love this project. It was really fun to do. If you are new to Tunisian crochet, if you've done a little bit of it, but you haven't done a lot yet, this could be a really great kind of level up project, because it involves Tunisian simple stitch, but doing a variation of it called Tunisian double stitch. But also you get into this mesh lace work here, and so you get an introduction to doing increases and decreases and lace in Tunisian crochet, which is really great. The pattern was well written. One thing about this is, if you are new to Tunisian crochet, one thing to be aware if you end up doing this project is the beginning part of this right now, right? It looks all nice flat and open and everything. Well, when I first started this section, as happens with lace knitting, it was all sort of like crinkled up and looked like too tight, and I was like, this is never gonna flatten out, but it totally did once I blocked it. So this is definitely a type of project where you need to give it a good blocking in order for everything to open up and lay flat the way you would want it to in the end. The last project I'm going to show you is the Amberine Wrap by Amy Snell. I finished blocking this, got it off, and it is finished, and I love this. If you watched my last video, oh God, it's so cozy. I love it so much. The way this is made is a series of modular right angle triangles, and you finish with a knitted on border edge. And I loved the yarn that I worked this in. This yarn is Valley Yarns Northampton, which is a worsted weight Peruvian Highland wool yarn from yarn.com, aka Webs. Webs was recently acquired by Lovecrafts, which I am an affiliate of, and they are now selling Valley Yarns on Lovecrafts as well. And this yarn was fantastic, and I thought it just went with this project so nicely. If there's anything about this project, it was a user error on my part. I probably should have got up a needle size, which I knew at the time that I was knitting it, but I probably should have knitted this on one needle size larger. This absolutely got the width of the project, but I didn't get the length of it. I could try reblocking this to get the additional 6 inches, but I have a feeling I would just rather make a second one with a larger needle, because I just loved making this so much the first time. That is my closeout for 2021. It has been quite the year. There's been a lot going on in the world, but you know what? Honestly, as difficult as things have been, my house flooded. There's everything that's going on. But there's also been a lot of great things as well. And I think it's always worth taking a moment and stopping and thinking about the good. Because every year has good and bad. And there has to have been so for me, some of the good this year has been that I reached my goal of 1,500 subscribers. I reached 10,000 public watch hours, which is amazing. I cannot believe it. And it is all thanks to you, my subscribers, and the people who come and watch these videos. I am so grateful to all y'all who have supported me in this endeavor. It's hard to believe that it's been 2 years now that I've been doing this channel. And as always, I hope that it's a resource for you, not just of information, but also a place of a little bit of entertainment as well. Because I do try to have fun, because sometimes you just need a little fun in your life. But thank you so much for watching these videos and supporting me this year. If you would like to continue supporting me, please make sure to like this video, share it with your other friends who you think might be interested in it. Liking videos, sharing videos, commenting on videos are all great ways to help support my channel and continue to grow it so that hopefully it can become a self-sustaining endeavor for me, because that is my goal, is for this to kind of be a self-sustaining endeavor. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and I'd love to hear from you. What were some of the things for 2021, craft-wise, knit-wise, fiber-wise, that was your best and worst? Is there a project that you really love that you would love other people think they should try it out? Is there a fiber that you tried for the first time, a needle that you tried for the first time that you thought was great, that you thought wasn't so great? I'd love to hear about it in the comments down below, and maybe I will give it a go for 2022. Also, let me know down in the comments, 2022 is coming. If there is any video that you'd like to see from me, if there's a craft you'd like me to try out, if there's anything from my channel, anything at all that you are interested in, I would love to hear about it down in the comments below. Yes, I do this channel for myself, because I love talking about making and knitting and all of the fiber things. I love it so much. But I also want it to be a resource for you and a place for you as well that you can just come and relax and enjoy yourself. Mostly I do tutorials, right? But I also do reviews, and sometimes I just do what I hope are fun videos, because sometimes we just need a little bit of entertainment in our life. So if there's anything that you would like me to see me do in 2022, I would love to hear about it. I hope that the coming year ahead for you is a prosperous one, is a healthy one, is one that is full of peace and calm. I think that is what we all need right now. And a little bit of laughter, maybe a lot of laughter, because laughter always is healing. So thank you so much for joining me, and as always, happy health and happy making. Bye. Hey all y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carrie. This is where I talk about crafting. My last video of the year, gonna stand down. Number 6 on my list is another knitting needle, which is this one. Let me try that again. I really enjoyed utilizing. I'm recording, right? I'm recording. It's red. It's recording, Carrie. Stop being paranoid. All the plugs are done. I'm sorry. It's written in the YouTube. Well, first of all, the affiliate link thing, that's an FTC regulation, okay? But all the other plugs, like my social media plug, all my social media you can find here. That's in the handbook. That's in the YouTube creator handbook. All right, doing all these plugs. Don't love doing them, but it's if you don't plug it, who's gonna plug it for you?